My daughter is determined to become an internet celebrity. In order to gain traffic, she, who grew up in a happy family and never faced any major setbacks, created a tragic persona for herself. She portrayed me as a traditional Chinese parent and relentlessly accused me of so-called abuses in her videos. My birthday is my birthday. Stop saying it's your day of suffering. The feeling for my original family is like a cold, unending drizzle, damp and chilling. As the video gained popularity, my personal information was quickly exposed by some enthusiastic netizens, and a torrent of online abuse came crashing down on me. In my past life, these malicious comments left me muddled, and I accidentally got hit by a car while walking on the road, ending my life. To my surprise, when I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day when my daughter said she wanted to become an internet celebrity.
Mom.
Why are you zoning out? Did you hear what I just said? If you just act with me, I might become famous and become an internet celebrity. When I opened my eyes again, my daughter Linyu was holding my hand, dreaming of a future living a carefree life as a huge internet celebrity. The intense pain caused by jumping off a building had completely disappeared. I understood that this was heaven giving me a second chance. In my previous life, I was displeased with Linyu's plan to create a fake persona online and strictly rejected her. However, she never gave up, secretly acting behind my back, creating a tragic persona for herself and casting me as the traditional Chinese parent. In the end, she did get what she wanted and lived the carefree life she had once dreamed of, but all of this was built on my suffering. Thinking of the various experiences from my previous life, I clenched my fist, my fingernails digging deeply into my flesh. Since you love manipulating public opinions so much, this time, I'll teach you a lesson using the same method. Mom, are you listening? Answer me, you old hag. Seeing that I hadn't responded for a long time, Linyu became anxious and pinched my arm hard. She's always like this, calling me mom when she needs something, but otherwise impatiently calling me an old hag. I knew that no matter what I said, I couldn't deter her from wanting to become an internet celebrity, so I casually replied, maybe you should find someone else to play the role. Upon hearing my reply, Linyu frowned, her face full of dissatisfaction. But just as she was about to criticize me, she seemed to suddenly remember something, and with a smile plastered on her face, she ran into her bedroom holding her phone. She must have prepared a substitute for this traditional Chinese parent role I've been cast in. Thinking of this, I let out a cold chuckle, picked up my phone, and began to implement my plan. In 2 days, it'll be Linyu's birthday. According to my memory, that night, Linyu would upload her first major work online. My birthday is just my birthday. Stop calling it your day of suffering. I picked up my phone and downloaded some popular apps like Douyin and Little Orange Book and modified each app's profile information so that it was clear they belonged to the same person. Finally, on Little Orange Book, I posted a piece. The content was simple, without revealing too much personal information. It expressed the frustration, from the perspective of a stepmother, of not being accepted by a stepdaughter despite having relied on each other for so long. That's right, Linyu is not my biological daughter. Her mother died in childbirth, and after more than 10 years, I married her father. At first, I wanted to get along well with Linyu, but she seemed to have a persecution complex, convinced that I was only out to harm her. Even her father, who was my husband, died unexpectedly, and Linyu blamed me for his death, thinking I coveted their family fortune. Later, I was at a loss and decided to keep a little distance from Linyu, hoping that we could live together peacefully. I never expected her unreasonable hatred towards me would escalate to the point where she disregarded my reputation and used me for hype. In the previous life, when I was first subjected to online bullying, I approached Linyu, asking her to ease up and stop, but I was met with her harsh words, and the online rumors about me only intensified. Since soft approaches didn't work, I decided to gradually try a tougher tactic. Soon, it was Linyu's birthday, and as I did in the previous life, I prepared a birthday cake for her. The difference was, before sending out the cake, I took a photo of it and uploaded it online with a caption, "Today is my stepdaughter's birthday." I prepared a cake, hoping she will gradually accept me. The posts from yesterday and today both talk about some family trivialities, and the comment section is filled with mothers who share similar experiences, offering me advice. Truly, pity the hearts of all parents in the world. While it's undeniable that due to the influence of certain people, Chinese education can be somewhat extreme in certain aspects, I believe these 4 words cannot solely define the painstaking efforts of so many parents. There are exceptions to every rule, and nothing is absolute in this world. These 2 posts haven't caused much of an impact. However, at the moment, I just need a small amount of attention. After all, if you want to get back at someone, you have to let them rise high before they fall, so it hurts more. Right after dinner, Lin Yu took a cake, ran into the bedroom, and locked the door. I wasn't in a hurry, so I leisurely washed up and then lay down on the bed. It wasn't until almost midnight that I opened my phone and searched for keywords like birthday and day of suffering with a newly created account. Sure, Inu. GH. A familiar teary face appeared in a video that was rapidly gaining heat. In the video, Lin Yu cried while stuffing cake into her mouth, occasionally coming up with a few profound remarks. Can you not turn my birthday into your day of suffering? The original family is like a thick cotton coat soaked in icy water. Wearing it is cold, and taking it off is even colder. The love from your original family is just enough to support you painfully growing up. While saying these profound remarks, Lin Yu's tears kept falling, slowly dripping onto the cake I had meticulously prepared. The comments flew by quickly. I feel so sorry for the sister. What kind of mother does this on her child's birthday? Seeing her crying while eating cake, doesn't it remind you of how we used to eat meals mixed with tears as kids? The Chinese education system is just side-up. With the video content, paired with sentimental background music and the scrolling comments, it's safe to say the effect has reached its peak. I believe it won't be long before this video completely goes viral. I stared at the motionless, fake teardrops glued to the side of Lin Yu's face in the video, which I'd bought a couple of days ago, and thought to myself, ever since her birthday, Lin Yu has been in high spirits every day, and she doesn't even put on a sour face when she sees me anymore. It seems the video's impact is just as significant as in the previous life. I recalled those few videos Lin Yu posted in her past life. If I'm not mistaken, next she'll post a few vlogs to stabilize the situation and then release a major piece titled, I got slapped a few times by my traditional Chinese mother for not doing chores during my live stream. It was from this live stream that some enthusiastic netizens uncovered my identity, disrupting my peaceful life. Sure enough, in the following days, Lin Yu intermittently posted some vlogs, adopting a seemingly strong facade, saying she wanted to convey warmth to her fans and friends. The cake video gained Lin Yu numerous followers, and now seeing her getting rained on while holding an umbrella for others, everyone is deeply moved and has left many supportive comments. And I am still observing quietly. But it's not like I'm doing nothing. I'm still running that little account that not many people pay attention to, occasionally updating it with some stories about my stepdaughter. Also, I took a peek at Lin Yu's phone once when she was taking a shower. According to my memories from my previous life, when Lin Yu directed her second big film, the person who replaced me to play the Chinese mother was her lifelong best friend Zhang Xiaonan. Zhang Xiaonan is a voice actor who can imitate my voice. As for the hands needed to slap Lin Yu in the big production, I looked at a newly arrived delivery of a plastic fake hand at home and quickly understood the reason. I opened the chat window between Lin Yu and Zhang Xiaonan, and sure enough, every message was related to the Become an Internet Celebrity plan. Dear friend Zhang Xiaonan, I didn't expect the first project to go so smoothly. Once you act in the live broadcast drama, Xiaoye, you'll become an instant hit. Don't forget me then. Lin Yu. Of course not. Dear friend Zhang Xiaonan, but actually I'm still a bit worried. Will this have any impact on your stepmother's life? Lin Yu, what the hell are you scared of? What I want is to create some impact. I've been annoyed by that old hag for a long time. I remember she has some kind of anxiety disorder. In a few days, I'll trick her into signing an insurance policy. If people online start criticizing her, she might just end it all herself. Lin Yu. Then, I won't have this cold and fake familial affection anymore, just a warm sum of money. How nice. Reading the message Lin Yu sent, I felt as if I had fallen into an ice cave. Indeed, my anxiety has always been quite severe. First, I couldn't accept my husband's unexpected death. Second, I've always struggled to handle my relationship with Lin Yu, which has been very distressing. Unexpectedly, my suffering has become her tool for making money. I had initially thought that in this new life, giving Lin Yu a good dose of revenge would suffice. It seems that won't work now. This is no longer about revenge. It's about vengeance. A few days later, Lin Yu invited Zhang Xiaonan over to her house as a guest. Just like on her birthday after dinner, the two of them took a bunch of props and headed into the bedroom, locking the door behind them. I understood that their second act was about to begin. Shortly after they went into the bedroom, I retreated to my own room and logged into my alternate account. The live stream started quickly, with Lin Yu pretending to act nonchalant as she ate snacks and chatted with the earnest and genuine viewers who cared about her, yet whom she deceived. Her acting skills weren't particularly impressive. Her eyes would occasionally awkwardly fixate on the camera, and she ate in that consistently odd manner, smacking her lips, with her eyes askew. Regarding her eating habits, I had warned her multiple times to control her mouth movements a bit, otherwise it looked somewhat strange. But at that time, when Lin Yu heard what I said, she flew into a rage, reasoning that in all her time eating out with friends, no one had ever commented that her dining manners were wrong. Since then, Lin Yu no longer eats with me. Every time, she comes to the kitchen, takes the dishes to her room to eat. She carries off the entire plate of dishes she likes and doesn't touch a single piece of those she doesn't. Sometimes, when she's in a bad mood, she even throws them into the trash, shouting, "I'm not eating this. Don't make it again, you old hag." Whenever this happened, I could eat plain rice to fill my stomach and silently wash the dishes after Lin Yu finished her meal and put the bowls back. At this moment, watching Lin Yu's twisted mouth on the live stream, belated anger bubbled up within me. Situations like this, where Lin Yu deliberately targeted me, weren't just one or two incidents. For some reason in my previous life, I managed to endure it all. It wasn't until I lost my life that I realized. But thankfully, the heavens had finally opened their eyes. Adjusting my mood, I continued to stare at the screen. Soon, the drama began. While Lin Yu calmly played the role of a mukbang streamer, a voice identical to mine suddenly appeared in the live stream. "Eat, eat, eat. All you do is eat. What's there to record? Is anyone even watching you? You barely did any housework today, and you have the nerve to sit there eating nonstop." Accompanying these malicious accusations was a fake hand swinging toward Lin Yu's face. The movement was so quick that, at a glance, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. It truly gave the impression that someone off-screen was slapping her. Lin Yu's tears instantly started to flow. She struggled to respond, choking out a few words. "I did chores today, you just didn't see." Sometimes, I really have to admire her acting skills when it comes to crying. Honestly, if she stopped resorting to such underhanded tricks and practiced seriously, she might actually have a shot at becoming an actress. On the screen, Lin Yu appeared extremely fragile, nothing like the domineering demeanor she once had in front of me. She held her bowl of food, silently shedding tears, her gaze blank, as if utterly stunned by the sudden misfortune that had befallen her. Gradually, the sound of my curses in Lin Yu's video, accompanied by the sound of footsteps, grew fainter and fainter until it completely disappeared. At this moment, Lin Yu seemed to snap out of it. She wiped away her tears, put on a forcibly composed expression, and continued eating. She then comforted the viewers in her live stream. "It's nothing. I'm used to it. She doesn't actually hit that hard. It's just for show. Let's not talk about this anymore. Babies, let's switch topics." After all, I started this live stream just to bring some warmth and joy to those who have experienced the same things as me. I'm really sorry for letting everyone see such a scene today. Under Lin Yu's conversational tactics, which seemed to change the topic but subtly kept circling back to the previous incident, the comments in the live stream chat grew increasingly extreme. They ranged from, "What kind of horrible mother is this?" to "Anyone here with some tech skills? Track down that mother. I'd like to see what kind of person she is." There were even quite a few personal attacks. The chat screen was filled with comments like, "Is that mom out of her mind?" Even though I had already lived through a rebirth, seeing those familiar venomous words still made my heart skip a beat. It was only after I opened the account I had been meticulously managing for a while and silently reviewed my plan a few more times in my mind that I managed to calm myself a bit. Stay calm. The people online are just temporarily misled. All I need to do is calmly continue executing my plan. Thinking this, my breathing finally steadied. Although Lin Yu continued her live stream, anyone with a discerning eye could see that her mind was clearly elsewhere. Under the barrage of concerned comments and endless gifs, Lin Yu finally closed her live stream, with the screen frozen on her tearfully pitiful face. Not 2 seconds later, I walked into the living room and heard raucous laughter coming from Lin Yu's room, shared between two girls. This live stream had gained Lin Yu countless followers. For her, the only thing left to do was for Mimi to transform. But I won't allow the events of the past life to repeat themselves. Relying on the memories of my previous life and this one, I opened the account of the netizen who claimed in the live stream chat that they were going to find someone to shut down my account. I discovered that not long after Lin Yu's live stream ended, they posted a video calling on netizens to dig up all information about me, the mother of Lin Yu, who had angered them. The comment section was full of active participants. Some claimed they could expose all my information by tomorrow, while others who knew Lin Yu were piecing together bits of information about me. Here, Yui's high school classmate, I don't know much. Only remember Yui mentioned she had a stepmother, and they didn't get along. Lin Yu must have drawn the Cinderella script. That's too tragic. Another high school classmate here. I saw Lin Yu's mother once at a parent-teacher meeting. She was always expressionless and looked quite intimidating. I do remember that parent-teacher meeting mentioned by the netizens, but it was only because I had just taken anti-anxiety medication and felt extremely unwell that I managed to keep my emotions in check. Never expected that I'm being described like this now. Sometimes it really is like everyone kicking you when you're down. As long as the first person steps up to try and push you down, others will gradually come along too, and everyone starts attributing malicious intent to your actions that even you hadn't thought of. Thus, a downright villain on the internet is successfully created. But this time, Linyu will miscalculate. Looking at the account I had been running on my phone for quite a while, I found myself anticipating the sunlight of the next day for the first time. I wanted to see what reactions everyone would have once the content of my account was also exposed. The night before my account was about to be revealed, I couldn't sleep, either because I was too excited or too worried that the plan might not go as expected. Every few minutes, I would take out my phone to check the latest updates. At 3 a.m., the account I had been following closely posted a new video. The comment section was filled with a string of information about me, from my age and occupation, all the way down to, as I had anticipated, nearly every piece of contact information for me on various apps, including the one I had recently been frequently updating. I quickly pulled out a new SIM card I had secretly prepared over the past couple of days and swapped it into my phone at lightning speed to avoid being harassed by calls or messages from curious netizens who hadn't thoroughly checked my account yet. Then, I logged into my account on the little orange book platform. Countless red dots appeared before my eyes. I paused for a moment without choosing to click on them right away and only leisurely opened the comment section when the time reached 4 o'clock. The reason was simple. Even if the truth is out in the open, people generally don't believe it immediately. It's safer to let things ferment over time. As expected, in chronological order, at first most of the comments about my posts concerning my stepdaughter were scolding me for being hypocritical. After a while, some people noticed something seemed off and cautiously started to voice their opinions. Hey, why does that cake look so familiar to me? Isn't it the one Linyu had in her video? Didn't she say at the time that her mom wouldn't buy her a cake, and it was her best friend who ended up giving it to her? Maybe her mom secretly took pictures of the cake to put up a front? No way. Look at the second picture. Compared to the first one, it's missing a pattern, and there's a cream pen placed beside it. Maybe it was handmade by her mom? That's right, in this lifetime, I've gotten smarter and secretly added some small marks to the cake. Nowadays, most netizens have the eyes of a microscope, and I don't believe they can't find it. And these small marks, I've designed them into almost every post. Then the comment section started splitting into two factions arguing. One faction thinks everything I post is fake content, while the other thinks there's something fishy about the whole thing, and wants to observe first. Soon, those curious about the truth flocked from my little orange book to Linyu's. Finally, the netizen selective microscope came to life. The tone of the comments under Linyu's various videos took a sharp turn. Oh my god, have you seen that live broadcast recording? When you zoom in on that hand, it looks like it's made of plastic. Didn't you notice that Linyu uploaded the video of eating the cake to almost every possible platform that could be uploaded to? Can someone really exploit their own weakness to such an extent? To be honest, I haven't liked her for a long time, but back tea. Hen I didn't dare to say anything because I was too intimidated. The way she eats, she's really the quintessential mean girl. Oh my, let me quietly say. I actually think so too. And so, an unconventional festivity began. The weird way Linyu ate was edited into a comedy video. Her comments about me in the video, along with the posts I made, were compiled into a series of posts. The content clearly refuted Linyu's words as being entirely untrue, clearing my name. Meanwhile, my follower count on various platforms surged, and most netizens apologized to me in the comment section. Moreover, many parents, sharing heartfelt experiences, expressed their thoughts on the parent-child relationship in today's society. The entry, Chinese-style parents, is getting increasingly popular, almost trending. There were netizens speaking up for Linyu, but as more evidence was unearthed, everyone gradually fell silent. I stopped browsing, turned off my phone, and peacefully went to sleep, waiting for the dawn to arrive. The next day, I was awakened by the loud banging on my bedroom door and Linyu's furious shouts. What do you mean by this, you old hag? Why are you posting those things online? Whether you're sincere or not, delete them immediately. Then repost according to my demands. Open the door. Are you dead in there? I got up, leisurely opened the door, and found myself face to face with Linyu, who was glaring angrily. I showed a perfectly timed puzzled expression and asked, "What's going on?" "Look at what you've posted on Little Orange Book. Delete it now." Linyu seemed very anxious. I feigned ignorance. Huh? How did you know I posted something on Little Orange Book? That's not your concern. And don't look at your phone right now. Tell me the password. Give it to me to use. Why should I? I clenched the phone in my pocket tightly and looked at Linyu warily. She didn't care about my resistance at all, rushed up to push me to the ground, used my fingerprint to unlock the phone, and then ran back to her room, locking the door. At that moment, lying on the ground, I slowly revealed a smile. I hadn't expected Lin Yu to rush up and snatch my phone, but it didn't really affect my plan much. After all, at this point, I don't believe that a few words from Lin Yu could change anything. I took out a backup phone and searched for my account on Little Orange Book. Sure enough, all the posts had been deleted. But it was of no use, because last night, each post had been screenshotted by countless netizens. Now, many netizens are using the same tactics on different people, and I have already seen a lot of Lin Yu's information exposed online. Those classmates who used to call her Sister Yu when she was popular have conveniently popped up now to unintentionally provide a lot of information about Lin Yu. Some of the information is true, and some is not, but not Ma. New York people care anymore. The internet is, after all, a double-edged sword. It can elevate someone to the heavens, and naturally, it can also send someone to hell. It wasn't long before I heard several screams of breakdown coming from Lin Yu's room. Soon, the door opened. Lin Yu, with disheveled hair, clutched my phone tightly and glared at me fiercely. With a bang, my phone was smashed to pieces by her. "What exactly are you trying to do?" I instinctively yelled out in anger, even feeling a sudden urge to grab her phone and smash it as well. However, thinking about it, doing this might even be a good thing for her. After all, it can help her avoid seeing online comments for a while. It's clear that Lin Yu is now extremely upset, but looking at the whole situation objectively, she can only blame herself. After all, I'm just an ordinary stepmother expressing my feelings online. Everything happening now is merely the result of the evil seeds Lin Yu sowed herself. At most, I just added a little spice. After smashing my phone, Lin Yu stormed out of the house fully geared up. Without even thinking, I know she's going to find her good partner, Zhang Xiaonan. And I took the opportunity to plant a small bug in Lin Yu's gear. This was all prearranged so that I could personally see Lin Yu face the consequences for her past life's misdeeds. With everything set, I sat in my room and turned on the listening device. As expected, after several minutes of static noise, a familiar voice came through. It was Zhang Xiaonan. The voice sounded extremely guilty. "You, why are you at my house so early in the morning? Please come in." "Shannon, you've seen today's trending search, right? I really didn't expect that old hag to post such bizarre things online. What should we do now? Tell me." "Yue, calm down first. Before we think of a solution, could you promise me one thing?" "What is it?" "Well, when you were streaming, I made a sound too. In our line of work, voices are very mixed. People are already digging around, but they don't have concrete evidence. Please, don't throw me under the bus." Hearing Zhang Xiaonan's words, I couldn't help but laugh. With my years of understanding Lin Yu, I could almost be certain that once she finished speaking, the two of them would fall out. Sure enough, the next second, Lin Yu's furious roar erupted. "So, you're just thinking about yourself, huh? Just the other day, you said you'd come work for me as an assistant when you saw I was making money, and now this? You're leaving me high and dry, aren't you? Just wait. I'm going to tell everyone who the voice actor was that day right now." "What do you mean, Lin Yu? Wasn't it you who first brought up the idea of using your mom for publicity?" Soon, the argument turned into a fight. I had no interest in listening to this dog-eat-dog drama anymore, so I turned off the eavesdropper, went to the living room to pick up my surviving SIM card, then went out to find a store to buy a new phone. Actually, I've always had a considerable amount of savings, but in the past few years, I kept thinking of saving more for Lin Yu. I thought that when she matured a little, I'd give it all to her and keep a bit for myself for peace of mind during retirement. As it turns out, Lin Yu is definitely not immature. On the contrary, she is extremely mature, already a mature villain. I have finally learned not to blame myself. After buying a new phone and inserting the SIM card, I sat in a cafe for afternoon tea, opening various apps to check the current online situation. A vlog user named voice actor Zhang Xiaonan published Lin Yu's entire plan online, claiming to be a former partner of Lin Yu who had now realized their mistakes and even included numerous screenshots. The screenshots contained many of Lin Yu's malicious words, which I didn't dare to look at too closely. Now, the person being publicly condemned and criticized has completely become Lin Yu. In the following days, I pretended as if nothing had happened and continued living my quiet life at home. It's just that my relationship with Lin Yu changed from that of stepmother and stepdaughter to unfamiliar housemates. Lin Yu became too afraid to go out. Even if she did, she would wrap herself up from head to toe, terrified of being recognized. At first, she tried to shift the resentment she constantly received online onto me, but a casual, "Who else but me is still in contact with you?" was enough to unravel her. She began locking herself in her bedroom all day long. Whether she was eating or not was unknown to me. as I no longer coldly helped her with those chores daily. One day, as I passed by Linyu's room, I caught a whiff of an overwhelming stench. At that moment, I realized it was time to execute the final step of my plan, leaving for good. After all, I could see Linyu's future in a glance. Someone like her, who cares so much about appearances, is bound to suffer in the days to come, so there's no need for me to stay by her side any longer. It's now her university break, and soon, she will be forced to return to school, to once again face the scrutiny of others, and then, she will even have to step into society. By then, even if no one cares about her anymore, Linyu will probably still be in constant fear every day. This is already the best life I could choose for her. As I left this home,